Hi, this is going to be a video on basically, I think, really re-examining what my channel is and explaining it in detail, more in detail, and giving examples of ideals that I like. Um, I think, in retrospect, my channel is not really to showcase any one ideology, but rather a multitude or variety of ideologies that I like that you don't hear about very often that looks to change society in a fundamental way. Um, for example, the latest one would be anarcho-monarchism. That's something that I've showcased, and I think I went a little too far saying that. A little too far in saying that um, I'm totally shifting the direction of my channel towards anarchy, anarcho-monarchism. I think that I also don't think that people are really quite ready for that or understand what it entails, or the basic philosophy of anarcho-monarchy. Um, a lot of it. So I'm not going to do that. But the point is, other ideologies, of course, is anarcho-socialism, um, which is the socialism enacted in a communal setting. Other ideologies include anarcho-capitalism or anarchy, a more anarcho form of capitalism, um, which I'm okay with on a variety of levels, mainly because it means that you really have a free market. We hear all this about free market. It seems to me to make more sense that if you're going to have a fucking free market, you might as well have a fucking free market. And I guess what that would mean is, like, marijuana. You grow marijuana, it's like marijuana. Well, you tell people to work, well, that's something they could work and do. So, I mean, that's a superior option to our current monopoly capitalist system where you have to go out and get a job for someone else, some rich fuck, and work, and they tell you when to get up and when to go, and blah, blah, blah. And back to monarchy. Everyone says that anarcho sort of monarchist systems or philosophy is tyrannical or fascist. Well, let's look at it like this. Basically, in a democratic society, the main thing for people to do um, is fucking survive. I mean, that's what majority of people do. You try not to lose your level in society. You try to maintain the current level you have. For most people, that's a lower middle class, working class level of society. Maybe you're not quite poor, but it's lower middle class, and you're never going to rise above that. And most people know that. And when they have kids, they know their children are never going to rise above that. It's obvious. So all you're trying to do is maintain that level of society. You have to work to do that. So, meanwhile, you also have your rich people, and they want to be rich. Well, in an anarcho-monarchist society, it simply makes it easier for both. Because you've got your fucking monarchy, well, they're rich, and they don't have to worry about losing their ass anytime soon unless they fuck over the people and they rise up. And in the system of, and as far as the people go, you have a feudalistic peasant class, and they're given land by their monarchy, and they're supposed to farm on that land, and that's all you have to do. So, as far as surviving goes, maintaining your level of society, you got land that you don't have now. You're pretty much, you might be somewhat renting it, but it's land. Most people don't have an acre of land, and there are fucking buildings everywhere. I mean, buildings as far as the fucking eye can see. Um, so the majority of people, live in trailer parks and everything else. So you got a small house and a series and several acres of land or whatever to farm on, you have somewhere to farm. That's better than you have now. So you're maintaining your position in society, and you gain some. And it's easier to do it. You don't have to wake up at a certain time, go to a certain place, be bossed by certain people. All you have to do is grow a certain amount of shit, and you have to have it grown by a certain by a certain time. Beyond that, it's up to you to do whatever you want. And much of what you're growing is for you to eat. That's a hell of a lot better than the fucking current system. It's a hell of a lot easier and more simple. Um, but and other ideals. This socialism, or not even socialism, but free market, socialized free market, regulated free market, that fairly redistributes wealth to the masses, would be better than nothing. Um, I think Gothic architecture. I think we stop building to God in every way, philosophically, logically, and everything else. And I think part of it has to do with Darwin's theory of evolution, which is obviously true. But I think part of it's had its effect on men, that we don't no longer care about being higher than we are. We just are at where we are, and we're content with that. And I think you see that in architecture. We used to build giant buildings with certain designs, and we designed it in a certain way, certain shapes, arches, large arches, um, and crucifixes, crosses, gargoyles, certain designs, shapes, and things like that. If you look at the cathedrals and things, we don't do that no more. And religious people, particularly if you're in churches, are nothing fantastic, most of them. Um, and I think Christianity in general, in particular, is pretty pathetic. The Protestant groups, particularly, the Catholics get shitted on, but at least they know how to put on a good show. The Protestants I've always seen as being incredibly boring. I mean, and a spiritually dry religion. There's nothing there in terms of spirituality. It's just you go in a building and there's some dude yelling at you about gay people. I mean, it's what the fuck is the point in it? So it's rather pathetic and ridiculous. Um, and men's rights activism, things like that. I think there's obvious, whether it's genital mutilation of infants or blah blah blah. I mean, there's obvious issues that affect men in this fucking country. But and just things like that. And that's what my channel is about. And it's about right variety. It's never been, which has been a lot less about that lately. I don't really do much on that, mainly because I think it's a lost cause. But it's never been about real racism, and that's my channel. Gay rights, all that shit. That's what it's about. So, P666.